And good Monday evening to you. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley here with you. We call it Weather Impact, live every day on WFMY Plus, 6:30 to 7 o'clock. We've got a lot coming up for you today. And then tomorrow at the same time, we're going to be kind of going into some more detail about what the winter could be bringing to North Carolina over the next couple of months. As always, you'll get a lot from us, but also our partners at WCNC in Charlotte talking all about the Carolina weather as well. So thanks for being here. Let's get right to it and talk about the way that your Monday weather was. I don't want to cheat you here from a beautiful time lapse. Let's scroll all the way back to this morning and look at very few clouds in the sky. It was pretty much just a blue sky kind of a day here as we look over High Point this evening. And one of the things I was mentioning on WFMY on the newscast throughout the day today was, just how average the weather was today. This time of year, it can kind of be difficult sometimes to realize or to know what is normal for this time of year because our averages are changing so quickly. So at the beginning of the month, the average high is close to 70. Toward the end of the month, it's already down into the 50s. So if you look at today, we were pretty normal, 61 compared to 60, 37 compared to 38. So those are things that don't happen all that often. We don't always have days that are average, but today was one of those. Also important to note, the variety you can get in November, 77 for the record high, 15 for the record low, way back when, in 1933. Your sunset's happening at 5:11. The sunrise is happening at 6:59 in the morning. Right now, we've already started that cool down process as you'd expect. And on these typically cooler nights of weather, it doesn't happen evenly. The cities hold on to a little bit more warmth a little longer. We're in the mid-50s right now from Greensboro to Winston-Salem and Burlington. It's already 44, though, in Reidsville, Danville, Virginia, Siler City as well. The lower elevations, if you have a little bit of a valley, you can tend to cool off more quickly. That can be sometimes where you see a little bit of that ground fog developing too. Not today because the air is dry as a bone. We'll get to that in a second. Here's where I see us ending up for tonight. So tomorrow morning, this is what you wake up to. Right around 30. Now, it's interesting. Will we be seeing frost tomorrow morning? Temperatures right around 32. You would expect that to be possible. I would actually think that tomorrow morning, the air is too dry to have that to happen. Some days you can have a temperature that's 22 degrees and you wouldn't have frost from that. It all depends on how much water is in the air, that water vapor that we talk about. And with the air being as bone dry as it's been, probably no frost or scraping of the windshield tomorrow morning. Even right now, our relative humidity is very, very low, only in the 25% range right now. Earlier today it was even worse, in the 15% range. Why are we talking about that? This is a fire danger for us. And we've been fortunate not to have any fires get started in our area that we know about, at least right now. But that fire danger is something that we'll probably keep talking a lot about until we get some substantial rainfall. And probably even all the way through the winter season. We've got a lot of leaves on the ground, as always in the fall season. But in the mountainous areas and places that got hit hard by Hurricane Helene over a year ago, they have a lot of downed trees. And at this point, about a year after, they've really dried out. So with low humidity, gusty winds, those are things that we'll want to keep an eye on. And we've been in a drought, and we don't see that ending anytime soon either. Droughts take a long time to form. They also take a long time to fix. So it's not something that would change just if we got a big washout with 1 or 2 days of rainfall. So keep that in mind. As far as the weather goes into tomorrow, we're going to keep that dry weather around. So here's your hour by hour on Tuesday. Not really seeing any sort of, cloud cover throughout the morning. Lots of sun to go around. However, as we get to that second half of the day, there will be the chance of some clouds moving in here, and this is ahead of an approaching weather system. So right now it's kind of difficult to track it for you. There's not really much to show on radar or on satellite, but if we look at our model guidance, always gives us some clues, and what we see for tomorrow is that there's a little bit of an approaching weather system from the west. And it's moving pretty fast. It's not a slow mover by any means, but most of the moisture is riding on the north side of this warm front. So for us, we kind of get robbed from a lot of that. As that warm front stays mostly to our north heading into tomorrow, we'll get a little bit of the warmer air, Not as much as our neighbors in Tennessee. They'll get the brunt of this. But for us, we'll be a couple degrees warmer. But that system kind of just sliding north of us doesn't give us a huge chance for rain. There's an opportunity of a brief shower or two. If I back this up a little bit, you might notice here, this is very, very early on Wednesday. A little bit farther back, you can see there's a few showers riding the Virginia line. But overall, our rain chance is going to be pretty low tomorrow night into early Wednesday. It's still noteworthy, though, because, well, what else do we have to talk about when it comes to rainfall? This is about it right now. So tomorrow evening, still dry. This would be about 7 o'clock. But closer to midnight, here's how we see things right around 11:30, maybe a few showers close to the Virginia border or in the North Carolina mountains. Farther along we go toward early Wednesday morning, still very low chances for rain. Typically, if you're a weather watcher and you're watching the radar, you kind of know that these systems that approach us from the north and west, they do tend to have a drying effect when they have to come down off the mountain. And that's a pretty good case for this system for us. You know, the elevation is just going to change so much coming down about 5,000 feet. So where do we go from there? If you're looking for some rainfall, you might have to wait until the end of the week. This is our longer range model from the European model here. This is late Friday evening. And if we forward this into early Saturday, there is opportunity for a couple of showers. I wouldn't count any of this as a guarantee, though. These are just computer model guidances. So the system is there. But for it to guarantee us rainfall, I'd need to see a lot more of an impressive signal in the models. And right now, it's just a chance. So we'll call it a chance. Rain chances for the next couple of days look like this to me. Low for tomorrow night into early Wednesday, and then pretty low Friday night into early Saturday, but that's probably our best bet over the next week overall. You know, we need it. We need it really badly. Here's the climate data for the month so far. We've had no rain today, of course. And for the month, just about 1/4 of an inch. That's about it. You know, typically this time of year, or this time of the month, we would have close to 2 inches. We don't have it. For the year, we're closing in on 40 inches. So overall for the year, we're doing okay, but that doesn't really matter when you're talking about a short-term drought. That means the ground is still very dry, and we could use it if we can get it. Here's the next 7 days. Still cool for tomorrow, mid-60s overall, and a cold morning, waking up to the 30s. Looking beyond that, I have us in the upper 60s Wednesday and Thursday. I will mention, though, there's a lot of uncertainty in that forecast high temperature for Wednesday and for Thursday. Just to kind of circle back real quickly to our forecast model, you might notice that we're really riding the edge here of the warmth and the cool. There's cooler air to our north and way cooler. We're talking about 40s and 50s up in Pennsylvania and Virginia too. But for us, 70s are to our south. Which side do we end up on? It could be a situation that we've seen many times in the winter months where half of our area is on the cool side and the south half is on the warm side. So just be checking up on that forecast as we get a little bit closer, and we'll fine tune it as best we can. Looking toward the weekend, warm, but there's that opportunity of a couple showers. I'd say a good day for outdoor activities would be Sunday. It might be a little breezy on the backside of a system, but it will be cool and it will be dry. Highs will be in the 60s. That's what we have for you right now. There's been a wildfire in the mountains. We'll be talking more about that on Live Weather Impact in 2 minutes.